Hi there, my name is Kenneth Stahl, and in this video I want to talk about people because I'm very interested in people and what makes us different, but also what makes us all the same. Because what came to my attention is that, we're all living in the same world, but we're all weird, and we all have to learn how to somehow get along and understand one another. I began observing people when I was in high school. I studied, what makes us all different, but yet what makes us all the same. And it was weird because I was looking at how others perceived other people, uh, and essentially like I realized that what we see in the movies is very close to what happens in real life. Especially in the young teenager high school scenario. Like we're all categorized. In high school you have the nerdy people, you have the people trying to be cool, you have people trying to hook up with one another, you have some people who do drugs, some people who don't. you know and when you get older, it's pretty much the same. Everybody has their own way of living, and we're all different. And this just fascinates me because, there's always somebody new and interesting out there that you've never met yet, but they live a different life than you. And this is what I've kind of come to realize is that when we live our life, we go down a certain path. Most of the times, who we are is determined by, how we were raised by our parents, what kind of social class you're in, genetically, what you look like, your race, and then you can start getting into different things like habits, like what do you do with your life, what kind of hobbies do you have, then you get into different things like sexuality. Some people are heterosexual, some people are homosexual, some people are have different sexualities, and we're all different. We're all different, and I think that fascinates me a lot to know that we're all different. Um, but not everybody is able to see that. Not everybody has their eyes open and they're able to recognize how we're different, because sometimes when you get so far into your own life and creating the life that you want to live for yourself, you forget about other people, and you don't only forget about them, but when you see somebody living a life that is so bizarre to you because it's not something you're familiar with, instead of trying to learn from them, instead of trying to engage in understanding them, we immediately just shut them out. We say, "You're weird. You're doing things wrong." And to me that seems a little weird because I mean, I've always been this observant person, fascinated by people. And I don't look at, what makes us all different. I try to find what makes everybody the same. What makes people act in a, number one, what does make people different, but also where are the things that we all have in common. And what I see from that is our emotional stuff going on. We all have the capacity to love, we all have the capacity to hate, we all have a greedy nature to us, but yet at the same time we all have a nature that's charitable, and you having the ability to give self-sacrifice. We all have the ability to either be lazy or work hard. These are our personality traits, characteristics, um, but we all get caught up in petty things like how much money do you make, what kind of job do you have, what kind of clothes do you wear, you know, are you religious, are you not religious, and when we start looking at the bigger world out there, right, we can see differences in cultures, we can see differences in regions of the world where you live. Just in the United States of America, you see people with different cultures living out east or west, down south. You see country people, rednecky people, you see more urbanized people, you see poor people, you see rich people. Um, Obviously, there's like age differences, there's education level differences, and there's a lot of stuff that makes us different. There's a lot of stuff that makes us different. Um, but one of the things that I've found is that when you stop getting caught up in your own life, in your own situation, you start being open to learning more about other people, it gives you more options for your own life. Um, because if I if I chose to shut my mind off from looking at other people, if I just said I'm not going to even pay attention to anybody else in the world, I would probably be limited to only being a kind of person who I've been raised to be, who my parents are. But now I see different opportunities out in the world. Like I can be whatever I want to be. I can I can I can move to a different place and live somewhere else. I can get a job somewhere. I can go to school, get an education. I can change things for myself. And if I see a person out there who I think is interesting, who is doing interesting things, who's participating in hobbies and activities that I want to do, I can see them and then I can go and pursue them myself. You know, that gives you more options and more freedom to do whatever you want to do, and I think that's a really cool thing. Um, and here's the thing. I mean, we're all in some ways the same as other people. Like, not everybody tries to be unique. Some people are just, you look at them, they're bland. They're 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 just a typical person. Like you can look at them up and down and say, I know you already because I've seen somebody exactly like you before. You're just a teenager like everybody else, or if you're an older person, you're putting on the same suit and tie every day, going to the same job every day. I've seen a million people out there wearing the same suit and tie, having the same personality as you, and it's like you're no different than anybody else. And that's the challenge. The challenge is to be unique, is to set yourself apart from the crowd, and to make yourself interesting. Make yourself a person that is going to attract people to you because you just have a fascinating life. You just have a life that's different from everybody else. And that's what fascinates me. What fascinates me is hearing the story from somebody who's been through something in their past, who's looking to do something different in their future that nobody's done before. I love people and I love people's stories. And I've seen a million of them. Literally thousands. I mean, I've literally spent time on my computer. I've watched programs on TV. I've met people in real life that fascinate me. And they inspire me to be a better person. And what I'm talking about here is what has led me to have this social awareness, emotional intelligence, this this awareness of people in the world, and it's what brought me ultimately to start talking about these topics here on YouTube. It's what's driven me to want to motivate people to be a better version of themselves, to be a different person, because I see people trapped in this matrix of just things that we've always been through. This People are so how do you say this? People just do what they think they need to do because they're copying others that have gone before them. They're not trying to be different. They're not trying to make a change. They're just trying to see what's going on in the world and just do what the world wants them to do. And I just want to inspire people to be different. To go out there in the world and find people that you want to be around, that and become the person that you want to be. And it all starts with not categorizing people. Like that's probably one of the worst things you can do. Don't just go around and assume that you do know people. I mean, that's probably bad. I mean, we see racism come up because of this. We see homophobia come up because of this. We see division in classes, division in people because we want to group ourselves together and separate ourselves from others. What I would like to do is see a world where people are inviting of other people and we're curious to learn from each other and work together. And I mean, I know it sounds kind of cliche or whatever, but I mean, seriously, like, we can all learn from each other and we can all at least understand the people that we're living with. And the way that you live your life is not anything special. It's not the right thing. Like, you might think that what you're doing is the best thing and you think everybody else should be doing what you're doing because you're right. No, you're not right. There's no such thing as being normal either. I mean, everybody's weird in their own way. Everybody does things differently. And I mean, I think that with today's internet capabilities, we're all being exposed to the differences in the world, and we're all having to learn to become, just one body of people and look at ourselves as people with our own individual stories and struggles. It's this collective consciousness idea. I mean, I know I'm starting to talk about some big ideas here. I don't even know. I can't talk to you about those things, but like, it's all about just understanding people and being okay to hear new things and not judge people. It's not our place to judge another person by who they are if what they're doing is just because it's foreign to us doesn't mean that it's wrong. I mean, there are things that are wrong, right? That as a society we need to make sure that people don't go around hurting others or anything like that. But I mean, if nobody's hurting anybody, they're just being weird and unique. Let them do it for all I care. It's interesting. I don't know if that's a valid point, okay, but I just love people. I just love to hear people's stories. I'm an observer. I just like to connect things. I love it to just meet somebody who it's like they've been through something and they're doing things with their life that I've never seen before. It inspires me to live a better life. And I'm just a guy talking about this stuff. I mean, I hope that I can somehow inspire you to become whoever you want to be. Write your own story, go on your own journey, take the whatever path you want to take, because no matter what path you take, it's going to be okay. I mean, no matter what path you take in life, you can't choose the wrong path. You can just choose a different one. You're not going to become the wrong person. You're only going to become a different person. I mean, we all have control and we all have choices in our life over who we want to be. I mean, we can't control our past. We can't control where we've come from and who our parents were and how they raised us. But we can control and influence the person that we're going to become. And doors open for you and you get more freedom to become whoever you want to be if you know what you can be. It's inspiring. And I hope that you're inspired. Anyway, I'm done talking now. I'm just glad I got to sit down and talk about this for a minute. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Kenneth Stahl. Since you've watched this video for this long, I would appreciate it if you shared this with other people. So, thank you for watching. I'll see you soon in my next video.